Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Even those who are putting tea, we are waiting for you. I'll give you like 1 minute to have your seats. But I'm so glad that, guys, aren't you excited? This is our second edition of Biz Connect. Come on, and I love how we are progressing. We are already making connections. I love the fact that there are people already who have further conversations to have within the group. So that is the aim of this whole Biz Connect, that we come and as a community we empower one another by connecting with each other and seeing how we can connect and, grow ourselves while we're at it. The aim of all this is so that we can actually have impact. We can operate within our purpose and ultimately have dominion, because that is our calling, to have dominion. So without further ado, just a brief about, Craft Your Future. For those who are hearing this for the very first time, we offer solutions. When it comes to your finances, we take you through what is possible that maybe you had never thought about. Money is always something that many people are afraid to talk about. We choose to hide our dirty linen and hope things will be fine, yeah? But until you speak to somebody and then they actually let you know, wait, you're not even that bad. We can actually do great things with what you have. Then that's when your eyes brighten up, because some people think that they are, where they are, it's too shameful to be. So basically what we do is we empower people to ultimately achieve financial independence, which I think is what all of us want. The vision is to have a global community of people who have actually achieved this financial independence. So come on to big visions being given, the nations. I want to have a community in New York. I want to have a community in the UK. I want to have a community in Tanzania, like everywhere where we are all crafting our future. And that's our brand. We were founded in 2022 just off the back of COVID, because we realized there was a big demand for financial literacy knowledge. Who here was kicked by COVID in the backside? Yeah? COVID just gave us a wake-up call that even that job where you are told permanent and pensionable could stop. Yeah? So when COVID hit, many people realized that they actually didn't have enough money in their account. They actually realized that they were operating with a lot of debt in their account. They actually realized that, their businesses were actually not doing very good, yeah, because money was flowing so well that when money is flowing so well, we tend to ignore financial practices. Yeah, because you're like, I'll make another 1,000 tomorrow, I'll make another 2,000, I'll make another 1 million next month, until it doesn't happen. So we just make this, in our coaching session, we make this as practical as possible, solutions for everyone, catered to you as much as possible. Yeah, so that's what we do in a nutshell. We do offer one-on-one coaching, but as well we offer training for corporates who want to empower their staff. I mean, a happy staff is more productive, right? A happy staff is not spending 98% of their time on vacancies. Right? Because they're always looking for more money, right? But if you train your staff that they're able to manage their money well and activate several income sources, guess what? Most of their time is on your projects and not on the job sites. So that's what we encourage companies to do, to invest in their staff so that they don't have to have such a high turnover. And that is really costly. I think we all know what high turnover does, especially when you're the one experiencing the turnover. It's painful. Yeah. So today I'm here to talk to you about when you depend on your business income, but it's not regular, or it's not enough. What do you do? Anyone here has a similar problem like that? Yeah? You could be in employment, but also facing a same challenge, actually. So for those who are employment or who don't have a business income, doesn't mean this is the time now to catch up on your social media. No. All of us are going to participate in this, and I know it relates to each one of us. So my talk will be very short and very straight to the point. I have come up with 8 steps. 8 steps only, all right? So what do you do? I'd like to hear, what do some of you do? What happens when you don't have regular income? What do you do to survive? Anyone brave enough to tell us what you usually do to survive? Yeah.
I said Fuliza.
Yes, so we seek short-term debt solutions, right? Anything else? Any other option? Yeah, there's a hand raised over there at the back.
You reduce your costs, the cost of service. So you start charging cheaper for just try and get people into the door.
So what happens is now you're not choosy on your clients. You're like, I just need any money. Any 100 bob that walks in here, I'll take it. Even if you know, like maybe you could be selling clothes and you have like a combo, like a jacket and a jeans that go together for 8,000 bob. But now since things are thick, you sell them separate. Sindio? Yeah, you have to do something because you must live, you must eat. All right, so I'm here to give you some takeouts. Oh, there's one more. Oh, yes.
You call the school, you explain. You call the landlord, you explain. Aki nitakulipa. There's something I'm waiting for.
I have never failed you. Takulipa. I might come home late, but don't look at that. All right. So here we are learning about kingdom principles. All right. So that's going to be also the anchor of getting out of this thing. All right. So someone say 8 steps. 8 steps. Very quick. All right. Step 1. Acknowledge the season. Don't be ashamed about it. Money is always a very touchy topic. That's why whenever we ask, how are you doing? How is the business doing? The common phrase is, tunasukuma tu, tunangangana, we are struggling, we are just there. And you wonder, this guy has been doing business for 10 years. Every year the response is, tunangangana tu. When will you break even? When will you thrive? Oh, we keep it secret. You need to change your friends if you have to keep secrets. All right, so the first thing is you have to acknowledge it. Now, the thing is, if you are struggling, then it's not failing. We need to change our mindsets. If you are struggling, if you're in between incomes, you're not failing. It's just a season you're in. And looking at kingdom principles, this is a time when you're being built and you're being stretched for the good times that are coming. It's time for you to then take stock of what is happening in your business. So number 1 is acknowledging what is happening. Many of us don't give ourselves the time to even acknowledge what is happening. We simply say, we will figure it out, we'll figure it out, we'll figure it out. But then all you're doing is pushing the problem, procrastinating it, and you'll never solve it. So number 1 is just acknowledge it, that this is where I'm at. And even our personal finances, many of us don't take the time to simply acknowledge, this is where I'm at. Yeah? So number 1, very simple. So the kingdom mindset requires you to ask the question, what is God forming in me during this season? What am I meant to be learning in this season? While things are not working out, what should I be looking at? Ask the question to God and he will answer. Step 2 talks about now actually getting to do something about it. Review the numbers without fear. You can never sort a problem without knowing what the problem is. Okay? So this is the time when you need to start reviewing the numbers. Now, avoiding the numbers is not something that honors God. It's actually stewarding what you have. All right? So if I never know how much is my deficit, how will I ever solve it? Has that made sense? How will I ever solve it if I never know my deficit? The thing is, we are always falling into the trap of, let me just get a top-up here of Fuliza, let me just get a top-up here of a loan while I'm waiting for my next client. But you never know, what is this top-up amount? And why is there always an amount I need to top up? So it's important for you to find out what the numbers are. And how do you do this? First, you need to come up with a monthly survival budget. Now, what's a monthly survival budget? This is a budget where, you know the way soldiers, when they're going to war, they carry their essentials in the backpack. These are the things now they cannot do without. Everything else stays home. So this is what you need to establish for yourself. What is my survival budget? All right? Once you have that, then number 2, do an analysis. Go back 3-4 months. Check how has your business income been? Okay? So check what was my highest paying clients, which was my highest paying month, and how much was it? Then which were my lowest paying months, and how much was it? And then now you come up with a new budget, which now you'll be using the least of the two. Okay? So let's take it slowly, all right? So my survival budget, and this is a survival budget. Hii ni kama flying with jumbo jet. Survival too. No meals, no nothing. Huh? You just want to reach. We are not kingdom requires us to fly. Yes. So basically, you're just saying, I just need money to pay rent. I just need money to buy food. I just need money to get me to and from my business. Anything like subscriptions, movie nights, what? Sindio. So you're just looking at your survival budget, all right? Then now you go to your business. So let's say my survival budget is 30,000. Then you go to your business and you look at how much have I been making over the last 3-4 months as you look back, all right? Now, if in the months where you made 60,000, good for you. But if the months on average you are making about 30,000, then guess what? Your new budget should be at 30,000. Am I making sense? Why? Why am I saying this? Because once you start living within your survival budget, whenever you make income of 60,000, you are saving more and you're investing more. Rather than when you make 60,000, you're now paying off the deficits that you had because you're still living off your wish list budget, which is what most of us live off of, your wish list budget, all right? Because you always tell yourself, I just need to make more sales, so I never remove anything from my budget, all right? So that's number 2, all right? Review the numbers without fear, and then you take action. Step number 3, are we tracking? So number 1, we face the season, where are we at, all right? Then number 2, you then face the numbers, all right? Then number 3 is adjust wisely, not frantically, okay? Now here is where you would actually now evaluate. Ask yourself, in this business, what is actually working out for me? What are the things that if I put more effort will bring me more income? Because sometimes we could be everywhere. Because I was even just making a joke at the break that somebody gives you their business card and they are in real estate, they're in stationery, they're in plumbing services, all those things. You're a jack of all trades. And the cat keys. So this guy if you were to ask them, what is your best performing arm of your business? chances are they may not know because they are concentrating on everything at once. All right? So at this point, it will be the time to ask yourself, which are the things which, if I do, I get the highest amount of income from with the least amount of effort? Are we flowing there? So those are the things now you should be focusing on. The highest amount of income from with the least amount of effort. Because if you focus on those, then it means your chances are of achieving your monthly target is much better than looking for all those other bulky items, bulky things that take a lot of your time but don't give you as much income. So you end up being so busy, but it's not translating to results. It's not translating to income. So you have to make smart moves of how can you simplify. So practical step is focus on 1 or 2 high-value services that you can deliver really well, that really translate into profits. Is this practical? Yeah? All right, good. So after step 3, we move to step 4. Seek wise counsel and community. Now, one of the things that we have is this community, and this is just a brilliant way of sorting part of your problem. Because one connection made today might seem insignificant, but there's this thing called referral after referral after referral. If you do your work really well, then the referrals will start coming in from one connection that you've made today. Now, the other thing is that you need to then seek partnerships. We've been known to be very individualistic. Yeah? Where I don't want to share my trade secrets with anybody. I don't want to share my customers with anybody. I don't want to share why I'm doing what I'm doing with anybody. Because it's like we feel like we're in competition with everybody. And that's a scarcity mindset that many of us have. We need to get over that. Because imagine, even if you didn't share your secrets, you will never meet the demand that is out there by yourself. You will never meet it by yourself. In fact, you'll need partners to come in to help you meet the demand. So we need to start working within networks, all right? So if, for example, my business, so I offer financial coaching, all right? But I'm in constant partnerships with other coaches who offer leadership training, who offer mental health trainings, who offer whatever kind of training. Why? Because whenever coaches pitch for a business, the client always wants a lot more in one package, right? So if I'm on speed dial with a mental health coach, whenever they get a job and they want to also do something on finance, they call me and we do it together. The thing is, I would not have reached that client if I didn't have a partnership with this person. Yeah? So we have to look beyond ourselves and start looking at partnerships with other people. Now, number 2, you need to start seeking mentorship from somebody who is able to help you in that business. The fact that you are struggling to manage your finances means you should be open to receiving some mentoring on it. But what most of us do is, I will figure it out. It's okay, I will figure it out. But what you don't know is, as you're figuring it out, time is passing. 1 year is going, 2 years is going, 3 years is going, 5 years is going, as you're still figuring it out. Meanwhile, your friend on the other side who just paid for 1 session of coaching is killing it in the industry. So sometimes we have to just let go of our pride and just say, help me figure it out. And of course, getting somebody who can help you pray is a good place to start. Yeah, because seeking wisdom from the source is the best place to seek it. Okay? So seek counsel, seek community who can help you with this. Hey, I'm moving fast. Step 4 is already done. Are we flowing? Yeah. Awesome. Step 5, supplement now your income. You've already done the restructuring. You are now living on your survival budget, the least of the two. Remember, there are two ninis. So you're surviving on the least of the two, right? You've done that change. Then now you've done the second change of, you've picked the product that does the best, and now you're focusing your effort on that, okay? You've done that. Then now you've joined a network of people, and now you are getting businesses from different places. At least your client base is growing, all right? Then now you also sought coaching, and now you are learning how to do business better. Now, once you've done that, we've sorted one source of income. Now we need others, all right? Because I don't want to live on my survival budget for 10 years. Life won't have meaning. Cindy. So we need to look for other sources of income. I love the Proverbs 31 illustration of this wife of a noble character. She buys fields. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sees that her trading is profitable. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sachets. So clearly, it's a demonstration that she has 4 businesses: land, vineyard, makes and sells linen garments, sells ashes. So you should ask yourself, what is in your hands? What are you good at? What is it that you could do if you are woken up at midnight, you could do it without a sweat, and it would work out as perfectly as somebody who did it during the day? What is it that you're so good at that comes effortlessly to you? Do we ever ask ourselves that question? Because I know what you've been trained to think you're good at. You know, we've gone to school, and some of us were told, make sure you sign up to do medicine. And then we all know of people who've done medicine and then taken the degree to their parents and said, that was yours now. I'm going to do photography. Yeah? Yeah, so you are told you are sharp, yes. You are given a course you should do, yes. You're in a job, yes. But are you happy? No. So it means there's something else that is your niche, something that you really could do effortlessly. I look at Moav and I see him enjoying every bit of his career because he loves telling stories. So I can see him having 4 or 5 different sources of income from just that. All right, let's use Moav as an example, right? Moav, tell us, what do you do?
I've been helping companies tell their stories for the last 26 years. Most of them have actually, like the first 10 were through employment, but the last 15 or 16 or so have been through self-employment. We've had a lot of focus on NGOs, which has helped us tell stories in many countries in Africa, in every single county in Kenya. But we are shifting our focus at the moment to small businesses. Basically everybody who is here. We are helping you tell your story because we know of big companies, Coca-Cola, Tesla, Safaricom, not because we've necessarily interacted with them, but because we've heard their story. And we believe that through storytelling, you can actually get to the next level as a business.
Thank you, Moav. Let's give him a clap, man. So he has a lot of years of experience, right? So number one, for me, he's already a coach in that area. Moav, you know you're a coach now. All right? So he can pursue that as a side gig from what he loves. Number two, he can put this material in a book. And it goes and it will sell beyond him. His children will still be reaping the profits of his book. Moav, because of your experience, I can tell that you can tell which equipment would be best for which job. And you become just a consultant. You know those guys who are on YouTube and just give reviews on equipment? He could be that guy. He's done his mandamanos, he's done his... He knows what is best, which is lighter to run with. Basically what I'm saying is, he has options. He could start a school. There are many things you could do with that thing that you love. It's just about asking yourself, what is in my hands? Sometimes you need somebody else to point it out. Because several times I've coached people and asked them, what are you good at? And they're like, I really don't know. Some of them, and then you tell them, what do you like to do? Then they give you a list of 10 things. But they say they're not good at anything. So sometimes somebody needs to call it out of you. Like somebody would say, oh man, you have a really nice voice. Maybe you should consider doing voiceovers. Or maybe you should consider doing a radio station. Maybe you should, as in doing something with your voice, an ad or something like that. But somebody never thinks about it until somebody else points it out. Recently, I did an interview with another guy who's a social media expert. So this guy says, sometimes we focus on marketing our products so much in social media that we miss out on the other aspect. And he used a very silly example. During the COVID phase, TikTok really took up our time. Or I'll speak for myself, took up a lot of my time. And you'd see these people dancing all the time. Cindy, it was a big thing, eh? You're just dancing. But then he was like, what will differentiate this dancer from this other one? Then the answer he gave was, the one who shows how they came up with the dance routine. That's the one people will look at as the expert. Are you getting the flow? The one who shows how they came up with the dance routine, because now, all of a sudden, they've changed from a dancer to a dance instructor. And that means now you can be called to create routines for others. And I've seen that happen as well. People who are called to create routines for others, simply because you're showing another dimension to what you're good at. So don't just show the finished product. Show how you came up with that product, okay? So supplementary income. Now, the income that you make from your business can also be invested. So let's never assume that a business, when it just makes profits, we just eat it and we wait for the next customer. Also, that income that comes in should be invested, all right? Treat it the way you treat your personal finances. That also should be invested to give you an extra source of income from dividends somewhere, from investments somewhere. And guys, imagine you can also invest in another business by another person. Doesn't have to be you starting all the businesses. You can also invest in another business that gives you some passive income. So don't be so, don't lock yourself into one way of thinking that this business that I have must make all my income. You can have several sources of income. Again, ask yourself, what options do I have? Am I making anyone think? Yeah? So I want you to turn to your neighbor and tell them 5 quick things you could do extra from what you do. 5. Who had interesting ideas? Oh yes, let's hear from that group.
So hi everybody.
Hi. Please just stand up, please.
My name is Precious.
Uh-huh.
So that question that you've asked on something else that someone could do, we were discussing here, and one of the things we've come up with is, for example, Alex is consulting for strategic thinking to help the company plan itself for like the next 10 years. What do we want? What are our profits? Who are going to be our investors? Hers is designing, yeah, to be a personal designer to help someone in dressing. Mine is meal prepping. Because I understand people in corporate are a bit busy. They have 9 to 5 jobs. So if I cook for you on Sunday, you know, from Monday to Saturday, you're just warming food, especially for the bachelors. You're just warming food in the microwave, because I cooked for you chapos, I cooked for you ugali, skuma, and then now I charge you something like maybe 3.5 or 4.5, depending on the quantities that I'm cooking. Yeah.
So what do you guys do before you tell me the alternatives?
What?
What do you do first, then you tell me the alternatives? Yes.
Well, I am a student. I'm still doing procurement and supply chain.
Okay.
But on the side, I'm doing marketing for different companies, and also I'm doing assistant teaching. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the meal prep was who? Yours?
Yeah,
For
the
you,
meal prep was mine.
alternative.
Yeah, I'm pretty young, so I don't have a big work experience. I literally finished Form 4 like 3 years ago, so yeah.
You know, millionaires nowadays are younger than 20 years. Eh? So I don't think you have an excuse. Yeah? All right. Any other group who want to share? First you say what you do, and then, okay, then you tell us what are the alternatives that you came up with.
Hi, my name is John. What I do, I run a consultancy that's called the Policy Group. So I support businesses in like if a business needs a relationship with government or there are regulations that are affecting your business adversely, I come in and resolve the issue and then provide you like with a long-term strategy engagement with government. I also support governments, county, national, in developing policies. So what I do is that I won't be paid by government, but it's the NGO that's going to pay me, where we have the same kind of KPIs with the NGO. That's what I do. Our group here, I picked the mic because Moav here taught me how to photograph. That was about 15 years ago. So what Moav would do differently is he has a website where he sells his photos, and I've actually bought photos. So he's not actively pushed it.
So that's a source that you can actually implement it.
Is that click.co.ke? Prints. Yeah. So I've bought prints from him as well. Lois here, they run a shop with her husband for selling men's clothes. And then she does social media. She's a HR consultant. So what she wants to do more is run the social media business. That's what she wants to do more. For me, it's same thing as her, cooking. I love cooking. And that's something I haven't, and it's healthy cooking. So like if it's someone who has, I find myself having conversations with people of, I want to lose weight, or I want to bulk up, or I don't have time to eat fruits during the day. I'm like, I think you should do this and this. So I think for me, it's cooking. Yeah.
What about people who just want to eat?
Why
are you leaving that market? All right, thank you so much, Joanne. Just want good food. So clearly, you know, when you know, they say when you're pushed against the wall is when you really come up with these business ideas. So why do we need to wait until our backs against the wall for us to think of alternative business ideas? So it's up to us to really take initiative and put these things into motion as soon as possible. All right, so step 6. Tell your neighbor step 6. So now we have established alternative sources of income, all right? Now we need to get our books in order. We need to start putting aside a buffer, all right? We need to be putting aside a percentage of all income that comes into an emergency fund. An emergency fund is a safety net, all right? So this is the fund that will enable us to survive the hard months when there's no income coming in. It will pay for our survival budget when there's no income coming in, all right? So we need an emergency fund. And because you're in business, you need up to even 6 months. Because as Pastor CJ said, you can get a client who says, I'll pay you after how many months? Yeah, and maybe now you get 2 of them, right? So you need to have as much buffer as you can, all right? So number 1, you create a buffer for emergency fund. Number 2, there's something else called a sinking fund. Now what is a sinking fund? Sinking fund is for those expenses that you can accurately predict that you're going to pay them and when you're going to pay them. All right? One of those costs, for example, for some people is car insurance. If you have a car, you know for sure you're going to pay car insurance, Indio. And you even know the month you're going to pay it. All right? So why wait until that month reaches? Then you say, I just need to make 3 sales. See, that's what we do. I just need to make 3 sales. But if you knew it was there, you'd start saving. If I pay my car insurance in December, then January I start putting aside 2,000 bob every month, knowing that I will have to pay this insurance in December. That way, when December comes, I don't have pressure to make 3 sales. Making sense? Yes. All right. Then, after doing that fund, then you can also then start building an investment fund. Now, investment fund is where now you'll be investing in different asset classes. For example, now you could be investing now in real estate. You could be investing in stocks. You could be investing in multi-asset funds, like Oak Special Fund. Those kinds of things where you can actually invest in different things that bring you returns quarterly, semi-annually, annually. So your business, as much as you're focusing on your profits, there's also money starting to work for you. All right? Because our aim is to ensure that we reach a point where our money works for us. All right? So we don't have to work until we can't walk. It's about us working until our money starts working for us, and then you are able to have more freedom to do the things that you love to do. All right? So it's about taking advantage of something called compounding interest. Now, compounding interest can only happen when you are consistently investing and reinvesting in something and not withdrawing. All right? I had a joke the other day of somebody saying, the coaches tell you create a saving fund. And then after 2 months, you remove the saving fund to save yourself. So the thing is this, if you do this properly, you'll never have to always liquidate what you've put in your investment fund, because you're putting in structures as you go. You're generating alternative incomes, and then you have your emergency fund. Then all of a sudden, you don't have to liquidate the investment fund, because before you reach the investment fund, you have liquidated your emergency fund, you have liquidated your sinking fund before you reach it. All right? So, of course, my assumption is at this time, you have good money management skills. Sindio? Because you can't keep making the same mistakes over and over and hoping that things change. All right? So once you're at this level where you're making money from compound interest, then time is your friend. Okay? All right, step 7. Give even when it feels risky. So this we're talking about kingdom principles that always seem to be doing the opposite of what you're trying to achieve. Who is with me on that? They always look like you're doing the opposite. Who has ever felt like, I don't have the budget for tithe? I don't have the budget for... Yeah? It's because you do your math and you're like, tithe is not fitting this month. You're like, I'll make those 2 extra sales. In Nigeria church, there's no book here, tithing arrears. So the thing is this. You see, if you can be trusted with a little, then you can be trusted with much more. So if you're faithful with a little, then that's the only way that you'll get the opportunity to do much more. So be a cheerful giver. Be generous, help others. You are blessed so that you can be a blessing to others, right? And the funny thing is, when we make income, we hold it like this. right? So if I came to you and you're holding your income like this, and I wanted to give you something, how would I give it to you? and it's let's say it's a bundle of $10,000. Utasema niweke hapo chini with your neighbors looking at you. You would not. You'd have to open your hands. And by giving, you're opening your hands to receiving. All right? So you can't be like this and hoping that people bless you with more. All right? So number 7, give, even if it feels risky. All right? Number 8, final step. Final step. Focus on purpose, not just profits. When you focus on purpose, your profits become fruit. When you focus on serving the kingdom, your income becomes fruit. That's when they say, be fruitful. Because you're focusing on impact. You're focusing on influencing people for the better. Right? And whenever you do that, when a life is changed, you celebrate because a life is changed. You're not celebrating because they made me 10,000 shillings. All right? That's why it's important that we run businesses that offer value to people. I love the butter one, Rogoro, Pastor Rogoro, where you're actually solving a problem to somebody. And I don't think you celebrate that it makes you a profit. You celebrate that the product worked. Right? And to you, that gives you more joy. Of course, it helps that it brings something in, but the fact that you went to do all this research to help somebody else sort a similar issue is what matters. So all our businesses should have that angle. And that, again, is why you should not copy businesses for the sake of copying. It's very common where we like copying businesses. I see somebody doing a business, and because they're making money, I also want to get into that. I mean, some things are also a calling. Kwanza, you know those days when you used to have one M-Pesa shop here, another M-Pesa shop here, another M-Pesa shop here, but then this one makes most of the profits than these ones. And you wonder why. Even their location could be very strategic. But you don't know. You are just copying. Copying a business. You don't know the networks that guy has. You are just copying because you see him now driving a Mercedes-Benz. But you don't know what networks he has. So you are just assuming when I start this business, I will get the same. So you are chasing profits, not purpose. Okay? Those are 8 steps. Yep. Those are 8 simple steps. Are they doable? Yeah. Definitely. So thank you so much. It was as simple as that.
Any questions? It's okay. Are you going to go to bed with your question? Like ningemuuliza. Thank you. Otherwise it will be like tahamaki na nisilingekuwa. Ningemuuliza by yourself in the house.
So
like where? Yes.
in the first step you said to acknowledge where you are, and then the second you look at the business and find the one that you're least earning, then that's your survival, right? What if you're not earning anything?
So, how are you surviving? Surviving on debt is not a good place to start. The thing is this, we always assume that, the problem with us is like, our pride always gets into the way. I always tell people that it's more expensive to pretend you have money than when you actually have it. It's more expensive to pretend you have money than when you actually have it. Why do I say this? Because if I'm pretending I have money, then whenever Vanya comes with a plan to go bowling, I'll always say, yes, because I don't want to look like I don't have money. But when I have money and she says she wants to go bowling, I'm like, that's not in my budget this month. Yeah. And it's fact. We tend to pretend we have money, and so we end up spending more money than we should. Yeah. So when now you enter debt, that means then you're trying to live a lifestyle that you cannot afford. All right, so the thing is this, go back to your drawing board and ask yourself, what do I have in my hand? What can I do to bring me some income that I can slowly start building from there? Okay? Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
This is on the tithing. I don't know if I'm being too pedantic, but when we earn money from the business, you pay tithe, and then your business also tithes. Is there like a technicality? I don't know. Because people usually say, like, I mean, when you tithe from your income, the one that you use to sort the house, you're protecting your home from the devourer.
Mm-hmm.
So then I tithe from my business, protect from the devourer. So do I not tithe my own because natoka hapo? I don't know.
Let me ask you something. Is your company a limited liability?
Yes.
Does that mean it has its own personality?
Oh, okay, yes.
It has its own identity, right? When you go to court and I'm suing Joanne Limited, I cannot access Joanne's personal assets. I can only access the business. So you're two individuals. It's up to you to decide.
My neighbor is asking, what if it's a sole proprietor?
Well, you survive on that income, so. I think at the end of the day is you must recognize who is the source of your wealth before you start negotiating too much. Because we usually look at it like I'm giving God 10%, but in essence, he's the one giving you 90%. He's the one telling you, instead of giving me back everything, keep 90%, I'll take 10.
You've probably had this a lot before, and it probably is a self-answering question. Have you encountered people who have all these excuses about when and how they should start, and what is your advice to that person? Because sometimes there's all this explanation about, maybe we can start next month. What's your advice to the person who is in the space where they're saying, I'm in trouble, and all these things you're saying I need? Mm-hmm. Where do I start? Or when do I start? Or both?
Or where do I start? In terms of solving their financial problem? Well, I usually give many examples. So I'll give another one. So when somebody comes to me and we go through a whole session, we come up with a plan, and I tell them, this plan, for it to work, I need you to dedicate 10 years to this plan. Then somebody says, I hear you, but 10 years is not, it's too long for me. So then I asked them, whether or not you implement this plan, 10 years will still pass. So which side do you want to be on? The side that made it after 10 years, or the side that's still trying to work it out 10 years later?
So you can have the altar.
Yeah, so immediately it's better sooner rather than later. It's better sooner rather than later. Take the action now. Sort your finances now. Take advantage of the time that you still have of your productive years right now to get your investments in order, to get your plans and your finances in order. It will work out much better for you in future than waiting another 1 year to start. It's not a gym membership where, funny, the people say gym, I'll start gym at the 1st. When gyms are closed on the 15th. No, I'm just asking. It was like I'll always start at the beginning. But your subscription starts the day you pay. Yeah? Anyway, I don't want to be short. Last question.
Sorry, I just wanted to attempt to what the question she asked. So I think it's when the place where we get to the place of submission. How much are we willing to submit? Especially because we're in this forum. Yes, we're talking about business, but we're talking about kingdom business. It gets to a point where you are an Abraham and God has given you one Isaac and he says sacrifice, and then you literally take the Isaac and you say, you know what? Let it be. So that's when you hear people say, I give 90% of my income. And I think it's a process. And the more you are willing to surrender to God, the more God is willing to give. So I think it's a place of you and God. Because sometimes we're like, okay, how much did I make? After looking at my costs, I actually made 90 bob. I made 100 bob, and my cost was 90. So I'm going to tithe on 10. So it's 1 bob. Yes, but there's a point where you get to, and you know what? It's just 100 I made this month. You know what, God? I give everything to you. And it's not it's not a how to. I think it's not a how to, but it's a level of relationship that you are with God. And if you watch Pastor M talking on the business broadcast on Sunday, you will understand that doing business in the kingdom way is so different. It's like day and night with doing business the proper way. Because there's no way you tell me that is opening my heart. I was telling her, I said that if you say, hold your hand, like what she said, and then you say, how do I give you to hold my hand? And I told her, I said, this is how I would do. You give me like this. So when you give me, I'll put like this. Then I'll do like this. And that's how the world understands it to be. Guess what? It's working for them. But you know what? They also have things that they have to deal with. They have hospital bills. They have all sorts of things. But for me, I used to tell people, I came back to this country. I was in this country in 2005. I came back 2010. How I've been surviving for 6 years, only God knows. But I've been surviving and I've been doing well. But guess what? I have never gone to the hospital.
Come on.
Until now, it's when sir, is this sir? I told my maybe we should go and register for this thing. It's sure. I said they are in our estate. Maybe we should just go and register. One, because age is not on our side. There are things that we will have to do, But I think basically it's the point where how much are you willing to surrender to God? So it's not a discussion, because if you make it a discussion, trust me, there is a level of discussion that we have to do where tithe is concerned.
I think we are done.